Yo, it's ODB, our lifestyle podcast. Figured I'd hit you just with a kind of a shorter video. This one's not a full flip through, but I'll give you a little bit of insight to how I keep my magazines. Finished work a little bit ago, ate some food, and I'm just chilling right now. I'm going to put in some work on the magazines. I have went through every issue at Mini Truckin. However, the deep dive that I've done on maybe 80-90% of all of the issues, I still do have a few issues to go through, kind of filling in the gaps in the database that I've set up of all of the information that I kind of can data mine, so to speak, believe it or not. So I'll share more on that. If you do listen to the podcast, like recently, I'll talk about how many trucks were on the cover that, were from a certain club. We have a guest coming up where I talk about 30 trucks that were on the cover had something in common. And I'll share that, which is going to be a week from this Friday's episode. So you'll hear that if you do listen. But, I know some people appreciate that, the dedication piece of it, or just the fan side of it. As far as being a fan of the magazine, I certainly appreciate, just being able to have all of these magazines. As I've said numerous times, a lot of people helped me get to this point of my collection. So, here's what I got. Here's what I do. Now, this is the biggest, I think this is the biggest binder I have. They're not all like this. This one is labeled with a label maker, 96 to 97, so just those 2 years. And I typically wouldn't like for it to be the top one. I kind of, this closes decently, but you can see it is kind of bulging. And I'll show you why in a minute. But most of the other years, they are actually in, especially the later years, they're like in a 1-inch binder, maybe a 2-inch binder. I think I have a couple of 4-inch binders, a few 3-inch binders, and most of them are, I think, 2-inch binders, I believe, going from memory. But basically what I'm able to do is, I can look through my database and I can see, hey, what am I missing? Or maybe I want to take a photo of a certain feature. What I can do is I can go right to the binder. Again, this one's 2 years. And I can flip through these now. Naturally, there's 12 issues per year, so there's going to be, you would think, 24 issues for the 2 years, right? So, and I take very extra care to make sure that, these want to tend to slide up a little bit. I want to make sure no damage happens to the tops of these magazines. You can see this one's that one kind of scooted up a little bit right there. So I'll kind of make sure that these are all, seated correctly in here. Everybody kind of has their own little way. I like this way because before I had them in binders, I could slide through these pretty quick if I was looking for something. And it just makes it easy because I can see the front and rear covers. One of my favorite trucks. Love this thing. We launched, we released a video of that from the Cow Concepts open house that time. I think it's on our YouTube. So, and then covers like these, just so everyone knows, this is what, I wouldn't refer to this as a multi-vehicle cover. This has one primary vehicle on it. Now, it does have a couple of what they call insert photos. A lot of times the insert photos like this is giving you insight into the show, Spring Splash 96. But a lot of times the insert photo would be up here or whatever. But this is one that I would consider, like, this is the cover truck, right? These aren't really the cover trucks, they're kind of insert photos. Now, granted, is it awesome? Yeah. Bada Bing also had a similar situation where it had an insert photo up here, which tied into the tech article for the paint job. So no doubt it's cool, but this one, just so everyone knows, I wouldn't consider a multi-cover issue. It's kind of hard to flip these with this one hand. Normally it's a little bit easier, but you can kind of see, just these issues. We're getting to October 96. This was one of, I think, the later issues that I ended up obtaining. This one, for whatever reason, I just didn't have, and it seems like it's not as easy to come by. Of course, I remember this one, my younger days. The November issue, you got a little bit of glare there. Sorry about that. But this one is one of the 4 West Coast Customs covers. And I did a photo maybe a year and a half ago of 3 of the covers because I had not yet obtained the, what was it, the blue Toyota cover. But now, you know, now I have them. One of my favorite covers, many of us, one of our favorite covers, December 96, last look, of course. Rest in peace, Sean Carlson. He shot this one. This one here, what I want to show you guys is there's 2 issues in here. Because basically one is in the, one is unopened. And of course, that was the one I obtained later on. And the one that I had in here was open. So the sealed copies, I do very much appreciate sealed copies. I don't, you know, I'm not shooting to collect every sealed copy, every issue sealed copy, but I do have a few. So this one also is sealed. And thanks to one of my buddies, he hooked me up with those 2. This one, and again, I apologize for this glare. I wasn't intending to really go over a lot, but this is what I call the street boutique truck. A couple people are always like, street boutique? Was it Tim Parker? He even has a write-up on Sport Truck, the old website, that I was looking at the other day. I think I hinted in one of my videos. I was out there looking. This truck was on the cover twice. Of course, it wasn't the first truck that was on the cover twice, but here's, you know, classic. Can't wait to get to all these issues. I think the truck looked amazing like this, but of course the era that it was from, you know, comes back body dropped with more mods and whatnot. Another classic issue. I think this one took me a little while to get. Back in this era, I can't remember if I talked to Brian McCormick about it, but in this era, a lot of this was, you know, some of these weren't even rolling shots. Now, I'm not saying this one wasn't, but you could look at Truckins and stuff a lot of times, and there was one where they had a Ford Explorer on the cover. No, Expedition. And I remember talking to my buddy Paul years ago, and he goes, man, you could read the lettering and everything right on the tire. So some of these, and again, not saying this one, but a lot of it was a regular standing shot that they just kind of put motion to the wheels and things like that. I don't know if anybody knows if this was really a rolling shot. This is an issue I was looking at the other day. Cool thing about it is this was Ruben Arteaga's truck. And it's one of the trucks that was on the cover, but it wasn't featured. So if you think about, you know, typically like, well, where's the feature of it? Well, this is, as you can see, coast-to-coast show coverage. But it says 40 new wheel designs for 97. The other cool thing, unless, you know, if you haven't looked at this issue in a long time or you don't have it, this image here is from Colorado Custom. They have a huge, a pretty big write-up in here. And inside the cover, it talks about this is courtesy of Colorado Custom. And, of course, this image, that main photo, that is a part of the actual Colorado Custom write-up. This here, you can see I got another sealed one. So the reason why I was showing you this is those 2 plus this one, instead of there being 1 issue, there's actually 2, because I didn't want to keep the sealed issue with some of my extras. I wanted to just keep it with the main set because I consider it part of the main set. Here's the famous issue. I did not have this one when I was younger, I don't believe. I did have the Auto Sound and Security feature. I think I had Auto Sound and Security because they ran it. This ran in Truckin, I think. It ran on Auto Sound and Security cover, and then it was here, of course. All the same shoot by Shartzis. Of course, in Daytona. And it was Daytona 97. It was Spring Break Nats 97. And then it ran, you know, that lead up, you know, those months later. But the cool thing about this van is we had Cope on, and he talks about the fate of it. Some of you guys know. Here you see Chop Shop, Stage 1 Customs, HKS. I'm going to wrap this one up in a minute. This was an issue. I do have a doubles of this one. I remember reading it a lot. This was a cool issue. I always like the color contrast with the color they use for the Mini Truckin logo and whatnot. And, of course, rounding out 1997 was Shondell's truck, which was cool if you think about it. I guess I never really thought about it until now. This is November. Sorry, I was thinking December. Because December is Bill Hancock's. Yeah, Bill Hancock's from Colorado Custom. If this would have been December, it would have been ironic because December 96, we looked at over there, was What Last Look. And then almost a year later was Sideshow. But pretty cool. It was also cool that this one was reused for another cover later on down the road. Then you'll know once we get to those. But I just wanted a little bit of insight for you guys to see how I keep these. And again, this one is a little bit bulging for my preference. You can see here how they kind of slide out. Typically, these are stored standing straight up and down, so I don't have any fear of anything kind of hitting over here. But of course, that's always on my mind because I don't want to come over here and damage all of, a lot of these mint issues. So I'll go back through it and I'll individually push them down. You can see right here, 1, 2, 3. Those are the sealed issues, which, some people would be like, why do you keep them like that? Well, they're kind of rare that they're sealed. So, but again, it's pretty warm out. After work today, I got a few things done I needed to, and I'm trying to spend some time in here. I did an interview for Lincoln Attic Podcast, which was Adam Janai from Mob Steel. So anybody that, most of you know Mob Steel, they've been around, give or take 20 plus years. I'd say late 90s, early 2000s. But man, what a super nice guy. Shout out to Emma. Last bumped into Emma at Lone Star Throwdown, one of our favorite shows. And I also bumped into her at SEMA, and she said, hey, when you want to have Adam on, just let me know. And I'm telling you, if you guys like Our Lifestyle Podcast, also known as OLP, you're going to love this upcoming episode of Lincoln Attic Podcast, because Adam, super nice guy, super positive, and always thinking of ways to take their business to the next level. So get ready to check it out. And I guess I just looked over here. It's going to be on Lincoln Attic Podcast right there. Also, I did a pre-sale on the shirts. You can go out to the website. I'll have the shirt numbers updated soon with the extras. And then you can, if you want to order a shirt for Lincoln Attic, they're on sale right now. Couple dollar discount until we get the brand fully launched, but LincolnAttic.com. All right, y'all. ODB. We out of here. Or should I say, we out here.